Nice to finally meet you, dude.
Yeah, likewise.
Been a fucking I'm from here, so you're from over there. You're friends with Mad Girl.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's fucking dope.
Yeah,
Leo's
we made
dope.
out. We made out in the video.
Yeah, I saw.
She hit me up and she was like, "Will you like make out with me in my music video?" And I was like, "Yeah."
You know,
Why
take
not?
one for the team to do it, you know?
It was a good kiss too.
It was good?
It was like a it was like my first like Hollywood kiss, you know, for like fake
on the
kiss.
camera.
Yeah, you know. And it like really worked out. Like I was
really
like,
worked out.
that was good. And she was like, you know.
She was starstruck, probably. Right?
We've been friends for a while.
No, I know you guys have been. Well, how's it like to be back?
It's honestly amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it feels so good. We were just like in the hotel and like seeing people, you know.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, and like
yeah.
I did a show in Vegas last week, which was also, you know, like a little taste. But being at a festival and all that, it's good.
It's a little bit different vibe when you're going from like a club to like a festival where all of your friends are here, your agents are here, everyone's here.
Totally.
And I feel like for the first time in a while, everyone's teams are out because everyone just fucking misses this environment.
Absolutely.
But thank you, Kyle, for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, my name is Sam, but that's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it's actually Sam.
No way.
Yeah, my name is not Kyle. I swear to God.
Are you swearing to God?
I swear to God.
I'm fucking show you a fucking Google sheet with my management that told
There's
me
all sorts of
your
crazy
name
shit all
was
over the
Kyle.
internet about me.
Are you fucking with
I'm
me
not
right now?
fucking with you. My name is Samuel. Samuel. That is my real name. Samuel Patrick.
Oh, this is gonna be a great blooper. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I fucking
But people
suck.
also online, they think my name is Ian Chambers, who is my manager, and everybody also thinks I'm like 20 years old, which I'm not. I'm 30.
You're not 20 years old.
I'm 32 years old. Yeah. But
There's
it was
no
a
way
joke.
you're 32.
It was a joke. Yeah, I'm 32.
No way.
We made a joke once about like Next. It was like that MTV show, you know?
Okay.
And so we did like me, and it had all like the things, and it was like LIL TEXAS 18 years old. And from that singular Instagram post, this like myth that I'm 20 years old is like out there. So like famous birthdays and all this bullshit all over online.
You have a new identity.
Yeah. I'm a
so
child.
it's like LIL Texas and then Ian.
Yeah, barely legal.
Barely legal. Not even. Well, yeah, barely legal. Not legal enough to drink.
Legal enough to do porn though.
That's a different discussion right there. I mean, I guess so. If you really want to go down that alley, you are from LA, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I did OnlyFans.
Yeah?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so tell me about that experience. How was that?
It was sick. I mean, I made a lot of money, which was cool.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll put my cock online. Like, who the fuck cares? I'm basically half naked on my Instagram already. Like, I'm just like.
Just take it up a notch.
$7 a month. You can see the fucking cock, you know? But you gotta pay extra for the other shit. And
you should have charged more than $7.
Well, it's just cock pics. I did for the like videos and shit. You know, it's like, oh, you want to see me jerk it? Like, okay, $25-$30. You know.
Still running the OnlyFans?
No, I'm not doing it anymore. It's too much work. It wasn't for me.
Were there like, did you run it off like it was a LIL Texas OnlyFans?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
LIL TEXAS 69.
Oh wow.
That was the username. It's still up. You can still like see my cock, but like, I don't post on it, and I haven't for months.
Anymore.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was just like a made quarantine kind of thing.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? Like, fuck it. I've always joked about this. You know, like, why don't I just do it? You know.
Do it.
And so I hit up all these like girls that I know who do it, and they like gave me the like advice that I needed to like. They were like, here's how you do it. No. Here's how you do it. Put the fucking cowboy emoji over the head. Just show the shaft, and then make them pay for the full shot. And so I ran that for a while, and then I just started posting like full cock pics and just like let it run on its own. So
I mean, it had to be popping for a while.
It was popping for like 2 months, like popping.
I know girls who make bank.
Oh yeah.
Doing that shit.
Oh yeah.
Bank.
But I just like I finished an album, and like I had all this other stuff going on, you know. And so it's just like, you know what, like I don't really want to do this anymore. Like I just would rather do music and like other things.
Yeah.
So I just was like, all right, I'm done.
OnlyFans can take the back seat, but it's an experience you now have.
Oh yeah, it's an experience.
You know.
And it was like a flex. It was like, yeah, what up? Like.
I get that. I can
I'm a male
respect
DJ
that.
with an OnlyFans.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of female DJs who got OnlyFans, so I mean, you know, to each their own.
Yeah, why not?
So, you're from LA, right?
Yeah, originally from Texas, but I live in LA. Yeah.
Okay. So, how's LA doing? How's it looking?
We're getting better.
That's
it's good.
good.
Like the gyms are back open, like restaurants are open. I think next week, like they lift a bunch of mandates.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like
party time.
Yeah, life is returning to normal. You know, we may have been partying like, you know, during the pandemic a little bit.
You know, highest case average, you know, per county. Just
bad boy.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
It's okay.
It's okay though. I think everybody was on that. You can't tell people what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's my opinion on that. But I'm glad to hear it's getting better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from Florida. We never shut down. We never closed. So we've been kind of running it the whole time. I remember.
Good for y'all.
Yeah. You know, it's sad to see a lot of venues and you know, independent places fucking shut their doors, which fucking sucks. I can't imagine how it's like in California.
Yeah.
But I'm glad and hyped to be getting back. I feel like this is the biggest the fucking entertainment industry is gonna have a pump behind since like the fucking Roaring 20s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see all these people here, events fucking everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
was Vegas wild?
Vegas was wild. And
Yeah?
like we're like
Where'd you play?
I played at the Grand Pool Deck.
Oh,
so it
no
was like
way.
a hardstyle pool party at night.
Okay.
Which was really fun. And yeah, it was cool. Like our schedule's getting like really booked up for the end of the year. Like starting August, like we're ripping pretty hard. And like Europe's gonna open again in July, allowing festivals. And I was like really concerned because I go to Europe like once a month.
Yeah.
Or I was.
Well, hardstyle's huge over
Yeah,
there.
exactly. I was in Holland was like my second home. Holland and West Germany, and it was like a huge bummer to not be over there playing the hardstyle crowds and the hardcore crowds. You know, because like when I'm over there, I start my set at 200 BPM.
Yeah.
You know, and
You
I
just
don't do
go-
that here.
No.
Because it's a little aggressive for the States still. But
Mhm.
over there, they don't even like flinch. And sometimes I have to start at like 205 or 210 because the guy before me is ripping it so hard that I play 200 and they go, and it just sounds slow.
Wow.
Because it's like a weird frame of reference. You know what I mean?
It's like hearing dubstep at like 140, 145, 150, 155, and then I can't even imagine anything running at like 195, 200, 205, 210.
Yeah.
Just
But it's
boom,
crazy
boom,
how
boom, boom,
slow
boom.
it sounds. And if you played hardstyle, it would be like, it would feel
You're like
house
slow
music.
house music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
like slow down house
It's
music.
strange.
So the crowd difference is massive, I'm sure. Like the reception to the actual hardstyle genre.
Yeah. You know, they know the music over there, and it's like a deep tradition. You know, and I've always loved the electronic music genres that are like rooted in that old tradition, like you know, house music, techno. You know, even ghetto tech and like juke and footwork. You know, these things that have been around since the 90s. You know, club music, Baltimore club, hardcore, hardstyle, and so, you know, you go and you play over there, and you can feel this like lineage, you know, that's not necessarily paralleled as much in the States with like, you know, like a dubstep festival, like primarily dubstep like we're at here, because it just hasn't been around long enough, you know. So you've got 30 years of hardcore,
The evolution
in this crowd, you know, and so it's real serious. The crowds are different, they react differently. It's more of like a party,
Yeah.
you know. So that's a little different, but
It's like a vibe. It's like a cohesive vibe
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
it's
were
not like-
one.
yeah, it's like headbanger shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like they're like dancing and stuff.
Well, they look at bass music like we're crazy.
Yeah.
Bass music over there hardly exists,
Yeah,
except for the underground shit where all the OGs really come over here now. I know, like, I don't know, do you have to have a visa to get over there? How does that work?
Certain countries I've had to have visas for. Like when I DJ China, I had to get a visa.
Okay.
But Europe, it's been pretty chill. I have
That's
booking
cool.
agents over there that handle all my stuff. So.
Then you're all good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it must feel just like great to be back, and you've been working on an album.
Yeah, album is done.
Okay.
18 songs. 2
18?
parts. Yeah, it's a big album.
Wow.
And we're already working on other stuff. We're working on like the side project too, the techno Diamond Dallas thing. So we're gonna drop like an EP or something with that.
Sick.
But the album's gonna be crazy. A lot of really cool content, music video, some cool collabs. Keizo collab, Danielle Harl,
Wow.
Water Spirit, who's here right now. I think was an amazing American hardcore producer.
Yeah.
So-
I've met her once or twice. She's great. She just
Yeah.
released a song with Mad Girl.
Yes.
Yes,
they did.
yeah. I'll have to meet her sometime. That's fucking exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge body of work. So when you walked into COVID and you saw everything that was happening, everything was shutting down, you were touring full time. So right at the time.
Yes, I was.
And were you already working on the album? Was that the time where you were like, hey, I'm gonna write a fucking album?
I'd always like mold it over, you
Yeah.
know. But we did release an EP during the pandemic. I think right at the beginning. Yeah, TEXCORE 3 came out.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, TEXCORE 3 came out during the beginning of the pandemic. But my whole thing with the pandemic was this. It was the only thing that just changed is I'm not touring. Nothing else has changed. My
Mhm.
release schedule isn't going to change. My content schedule isn't changing. There's just no shows.
Yeah.
But there's live streams, which were very, very beneficial for us because
Yes.
what we do is extreme. What I do is extreme. And so I think people were a little weary back then. This is like a year and a half ago now. You know, people were like, oh, I don't know, too fast. And a lot of people got to see me like on Porter Robinson's stream, the
Yeah.
Hard Summer stream. a lot of people got to see me that otherwise wouldn't have, and I think we like did a good job at like converting some like kind of bass head people into maybe like giving it a chance.
That's absolutely
And that's
correct.
all we can ask for. You know?
That's all you can ask for is like, and now I'm sure some of those people will be at your set tonight,
For sure.
which is super exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that was the blessing in disguise. Even put all the bullshit aside, those live streams for you as a producer and a DJ, especially playing a niche that you play and produce, it was huge for you.
Absolutely.
Because it gives people the opportunity to where if they were walking on foot or if they were purchasing a ticket, they may not do it. But if they're going to put it on Twitch and they're going to put it on YouTube, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And then they might be like, oh, shit, this is this fucks. This
and we
is dope.
like over, you know, we doubled in size, you know, social wise, which is a pretty good, you know, gauge at how you're doing.
Yeah, especially when touring isn't there.
Yeah, exactly. And so it all ended up being like really good, you know,
Yeah.
and I focused on my health and I got the, you know, fitness stuff in line and wrote a cookbook that I'm almost done with.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the book about?
It's basically like a calorie macro friendly cookbook.
Oh my
on
God.
like how to eat, basically how to eat junk food and lose weight.
Yes.
And get shredded. Because like
yes.
I posted on my story every day. I was like, watch this. I'm gonna eat a cheeseburger every single day this week and I'll lose a pound.
It's calories in versus calories out.
It's calories in versus calories out. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And
it's as simple as
it's all
that.
about eating low calorie, high volume food.
Yes,
which-
fiber, all that shit.
And fiber, exactly, which means low fat food. So it's basically like learning that like eating food that's really low in fat is actually the way to go, not eating foods that are low in carbs. Carbs
Correct.
are good for you.
Carbs give you energy.
Exactly.
Thank you. I don't know why people still think that they can just not eat carbs and lose weight and do all of this bullshit stuff.
Because you can, but really you're losing like a ton of water and glycogen. And so like they lose 10 pounds in a week, but it's not real loss, you know? And then they eat carbs and then they fuck it up. So my book is basically like pick a couple meals out of this. The calories are there. You'll be full. You'll eat cheeseburgers and quesadillas and pizzas and pancakes and all sorts of stuff that you would normally like. It's obviously not the real thing, but
Yeah.
it's fucking close.
Yeah.
Like really close. I'm a good cook. I was a cook before I was a DJ.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Culinary school?
No, I worked in a restaurant in downtown LA. I just
Okay.
like worked my way up, started on the raw bar, and worked my way up into like Garma J and Hot Apps, and then I quit because it was too much.
Yeah.
And pursued music. But yeah, so it's basically like how to lose weight and eat cheeseburgers.
That's amazing. I feel like you should give a free PDF to every single DJ that you see.
I'm definitely gonna hook a lot of people up
You should.
for sure. You know.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be good, and people, you know, are always curious about my diet, my fitness plan, and
You're about the fitness game.
No, yeah, I love
It's-
it.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me happy.
Well, I CrossFit, all of that stuff
Oh,
where it's
sick.
like I
Yeah,
don't
you look
think,
fit.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I don't think I could function and write music and sit in a room all day if I couldn't go to the gym and I couldn't work out. I don't know how
Exactly.
people do it and they just stay
I
put
don't-
and they just
I don't either.
know.
And I've
Yeah.
been there, you know, and I was not happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so the nutrition aspect was something that I struggled with, where I would yo-yo. You know, I'd go up and I'd go down and I'd lose weight and then I would
Not sustainable.
start cheating and then I would like wouldn't be able to stop, you know, because I'm like a little sugar freak and like, you know,
I'm
once
too, I
I
have
get
a sugar kick.
yeah,
I'm
once
like,
I get the taste, once the lid's off, I can't put it back on
Yep.
until I'm so bloated that I have to like take a bath and I'm like,
And then you're laying on the floor
Yeah,
and you have
like,
like a food baby.
so
and
I
it's
like
all over.
you know, reached out to a fan who turned friend, who's a
Yeah.
pro bodybuilder, hardstyle
Nice.
fan, of course. Shout
Okay.
out Jake Burton. And he coached me through my nutrition. And yeah, so that was he taught me the ropes.
I love that shit. When I got like super into fitness when I was in this transition between college and doing this, I loved doing the like friendly macro style foods
Exactly.
where you're making the protein pancakes and you're
Of
making
course.
the X, Y, and Z. And it's like you can have fun with it, but that's how you make it sustainable and longevity wise,
Exactly.
you reach your goals. Because
Exactly.
all this wishy-washy fads, which I kind of translate into like trends in EDM,
Of course.
they go and they come. And like if you're not doing it consistently enough, it's just gonna disappear and fuck you harder than when you started.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's so exciting. I never
I'll send
knew.
you a copy.
I never knew. I will absolutely take
You're
you
getting a
up
copy.
on
You're
it.
getting a free copy.
No, I got a free copy. Let it be known I got a free copy today. That's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
I kind of want to start training people and stuff. Like
You
I don't know.
should-
I've got
you
tons
should
of
do,
things
like-
that I want to do.
You should do, and I think this is so cool too because I feel like a lot of, even though like we're not necessarily in like the same genre, a lot of I feel like producers put themselves in this box
Yeah.
where they stay in the box and they only exist in this box and they have no idea what their platform and their skill set can open doors to.
Exactly.
And I like think of things like where I would love to do like golf with fucking fans, and I would love to do like with you work out with Lil Texas, like some shit like that.
It was so
you know?
fun in Vegas at the Grand. The gym is like a
huge.
It's like a glass box in the middle of the hotel.
Oh my god!
So all the people and the fans who were showing up to the event, because I was working out like later, and so all the fans were there walking, and it was like this hilarious thing. They were like Lil Texas was actually like in the hotel lifting weights. Like we like literally saw him in the gym, and these fans came in and they worked out with me, and like 6 of us listened to like old school hardcore and like lifted weights, and it was like really, really fun.
Do you listen to hardcore when you lift?
Time.
All the time.
I live and breathe this shit. It is like literally my life. And it's so weird when DJs don't listen to the genre that they produce or spin. I'm like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like, I love this shit.
No,
200
you
BPM
have to.
in the morning. Let's go.
Let's go. I feel like if I had an alarm that was just 200 BPM, I would be out the door so fucking quick.
Yeah, you might be,
Or like,
or an epileptic
terror,
seizure.
epilepsy, all of that shit. But I don't know. It's I look at what you're doing with your project, and you're very, you stand out from the rest by far, which is great. Which is it's very saturated, especially when you get into like the typical bass, the typical house, and then it's very cool to see this hardcore like scene not only growing, but I feel like a lot of people in the States recognize you as like this symbol for the growth of hardcore. So I was only turned on to you maybe 2 years ago. So did you always start in hardcore, or was there a past of Little Texas that existed?
No, yeah. I've been Little Texas a long time. Back in like 2013, 2012, I was in a DJ crew called MOD, and we were like sort of kind of on the front end of the trap movement.
Okay.
And so I was like on APA, I was like signed, and
nice.
Things were promising, looking good. And I did a little run with Flostradamus and played some cool shows and stuff. And I have a Boiler Room set from back then, which is still online. So there's like a Boiler Room set of me playing like Jersey Club in 2012.
That's fire.
If you want to look at it. But yeah, it just like didn't work out, and I moved to LA, partied too hard, got wrapped up in like the drugs and the partying and that whole lifestyle, and it got really bad, and I had to get cleaned up, and so
I've heard it unfortunately happens. That's a similar story to a lot of people who move out to LA.
Yeah, it's gnarly, and like I had the like predisposition, so like now I'm in recovery and stuff, and
cool.
So,
well, that's good for you.
Sober.
Fitness is a real big savior in that kind of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have anything I have today if it wasn't for like me getting my act together and getting clean and putting the shit down, know, and my life is like really beautiful today.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, and it hasn't gotten in the way of anything. Like, it hasn't gotten in the way of me having fun. It hasn't gotten in the way of me, like, going to shows, playing, traveling, nothing.
And it feels good
Meeting
to
people.
feel good,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and not feel like complete shit. I don't know how some
Absolutely.
of these artists do it, because, like, I see the back end of it, and I'm just like, I would just not be able to function.
Yeah,
almost.
me neither. I don't know how I used to do it. It's like 2 different lifetimes. I'm like, what the fuck? How did I tour back then and like, stay up all night and like get on a plane?
Going.
You know what I mean? How did I do that? Because now I'm like, oh, I only slept 3 hours. Oh God, I'm dying.
Right, and I feel like COVID kind of put us in that predisposition where, even though I was on like a night owl schedule, I eventually shifted back to normal.
Me too.
And now I'm like, holy fuck, I'm playing at 1:15, I'm getting home at 4, we're getting on the plane at 8, let's go.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's what we
good.
love to do,
It's
so
good.
it feels great.
Yeah.
So it feels great, and it's great to see like people's faces and human interaction, and like, again, like I'm in Florida, so we did kind of go on the deep end here where we didn't have a lot of enforcements, but I have so many friends who live in California that just said it was just shut the fuck down.
Oh yeah, it was there was undergrounds and stuff happening, and I maybe went to a few, maybe DJ'd a few, but it's great. I've been going out a ton lately.
Yeah.
Things are like opening up, and
It's amazing.
yeah, and so it's I think I've been actively going out like more than I normally would, even if like there wasn't a pandemic, the past 2 years,
Okay.
because of like, now there's like an inclination to stay home, where I'm like, well, yeah, but I could just stay home. Like, I've done it for 2 years. That's totally fine. I'm happy. I can just stay home. I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm going out
Yes.
and getting like all the social interaction I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because I've been deprived.
Did you feel weird, or were you like ready for it? When you first were like, hey.
It was a little weird at first, but then I'm kind of used to it now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I've been
Yeah.
kind of going out a lot, and like, I don't know. It was just so nice to see people
back open,
Yeah.
faces. I just feel like there's something about like the energy, especially at festivals or shows. I can't even imagine the energy in rooms at like shows like yours.
Yeah.
And like to not be able to like see somebody's face is like rough. I did like
Yeah.
a few pod shows and I was like, I can't tell if they like it. I can't tell if they hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm just gonna look down and be in my own world and enjoy what I'm doing. And
Yeah, the park and rave was a little strange, but like I hadn't done a big stage in so long.
so it was fucking hype.
So I was like, whoa, look at this huge stage. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is fucking sick. You know, and like it was sold out. So like that was fun. But yeah, it's when you have those people there, you know?
How was the drive-in? Was it like
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Do they like honk their horns?
Yeah, everyone's like honking their horns and like
200 BPM.
yeah, and like, you know, there wasn't like a hard style drive-in for like ever, and we finally got it, you know, me and Faye and Rob G and Darksiders, I think, was there. Gio.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
And so yeah, and it just was like, you could feel the energy because of like the deprivation.
Family
of-
vibes too, and
yeah,
it's like yeah.
There was something about that like we hadn't had a hard style show in a year, and so when we got the park and rave and you could feel it. You know?
Yeah. No.
But it wasn't the same. Like,
no,
it's not the
absolutely
same as kids
not.
like in the front row, like, and they know all the kick rolls. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
that shit.
absolutely. And I feel like I'm sure you have a multitude of events lined up for the next year in which you're very
Yeah.
excited to see
Oh, yeah.
those kids going, you know?
Oh yeah, Beyond EDC. There's a couple ones that are not announced yet.
It's like a niche and a void that has to be like filled.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like the scene is ever growing in your genre, so it's like so great for people who are interested in producing what you produce to like just go balls deep and go all in.
Totally. Well, it's like, you know, I attribute it to sort of like, it's like punk rock, you know, it's like metal, it's like grindcore, you know. I'm like a huge grindcore fan. Like
Yeah.
I'm just obsessed with grindcore. And like Pig Destroyer is my favorite band, or Agoraphobic Nosebleed too, and like Phobia, Wormrot, all these bands. And like hardcore just reminds me of that, especially up tempo. You know, it's just this brutal, like fast napalm death, like not giving a fuck.
Absolutely.
You know, short bursts of just madness. You know, and that energy I just like love, and I've always been attracted to it. And so within like the EDM realm, I think there's a lot of crossover there. Like kids love metal. They grew up on metalcore.
The structure is the same. You
Yeah.
look at the song structure, you look at a breakdown, you look at a breakdown in your song, you look at a breakdown in a metal song or a thrasher song, and it's the same fucking shit.
Totally.
You know? It's just adapted differently.
Exactly. There's so many parallels to dubstep and like, you know, like ass beater parts of hardcore songs and metalcore and stuff. And like I sort of have always leaned towards like the punk side of things, like Discharge and, you know, these just the more raw the better for me.
Yep.
And hardcore and up tempo has always kind of felt like that. And so that's like kind of my bread and butter, and I like to invoke that energy within this context.
I think of like small shows I would go to in like skate park venues where it would just be
totally.
like punk bands
Just
and like
thrashing.
fucking thrash bands because I come from metal too, so I made that
Cool.
transition, and it's like now unfortunately it's like you really have seen kind of the decline of metal and rock in general, which is super fucking sad. I look at Warped Tour getting canceled, all that stuff, and I feel like it's being translated into a kind of new evolution via like you and dubstep and like all of that shit, which is it's really cool. Like it's a different take, but it's nice to see a lot of heads come over.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And if you dive deep into like fun fact for anybody who listens to grindcore, if you dive deep enough into grindcore back in the mid 2000s, there's a lot of hardcore remixes on those records from like the classic hardcore dudes,
That's
even
fire.
guys from Holland. So you listen to an Agoraphobic Nosebleed record, and on the B side, there's like a Drox remix at like 300 BPM, and you're like, whoa, where did this show up? You know, and like Breakcore and Devnol and these guys, you know, so it's pretty cool.
No, it is fucking cool. I'm super stoked to kind of get an insight to your like musical inspirations because I'm sure you like pull from all that shit when you're writing.
Everywhere, yeah.
So when you start on a track, do you have a process or are you just like an open book, like let's go?
It depends. Usually there's like an initial like thing that can create like an entire song.
Okay.
You know, there's like this like
A motif, almost.
a motif,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the perfect word for it. So it can be something as simple as like, I'm gonna do a sigh bass on this one at 170 as opposed to 160, or I'm gonna, you know, use this specific kick technique and make it really like high pitched and like horrible sounding, you know, and do it at like 240 BPM, just, you know, to make like a just bleed like a burner.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, well, and so I make an entire track out of that. And then it's like, okay, and then I'll get another idea where I'm like, oh, let's do like some crossbreed 175 industrial hardcore and have the kick with a little more attack and like kind of grindier back end.
So much
with
drum
and
work
bass
in your songs that I feel
Yeah,
like it's like
all kicks.
it's all the drum work
It's
has
all
to
in
be
the
on
kick.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the relationship of the front end of the kick to the back end of the kick. And that's like essentially hardcore. It's like you have your attack and you have the back end. And like how do those two things relate to each other, and like in what rhythm do they relate to each other? Is it swung? Is it straight up like an eighth note? Is it sort of like a somewhere in between all of that?
Yep.
You know, and like where that sort of lines up is like can be the song.
Yeah. And then
That's
you just
the
build
motif.
around it.
Then it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this one in like a swing triplet feel. And this one I'm gonna do straight as opposed to swing, or I find a sample that I love, just a really powerful, strong vocal, and then I build an entire track around this like vocal.
Yeah.
And so it's really just that.
It's like embellishing simple things, adding subtle details, and like building.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fucking pumped to hear your album. I'm very excited. A
It's
cookbook
expansive.
album.
Yeah.
Side A, side B. Are they going to be released at once?
Two parts.
2 parts. Okay.
So it'll be like the like slower stuff, like up to 200, and then all the like 200 and up stuff.
Like balls to walls.
Yeah, and like it goes up to 3. There's like one 300 track on there.
Wow.
So we got like one terror track, and then like it's mostly up tempo.
Awesome.
And like a variety of sounds within that up tempo context. But there's like some raw style. There's some happy hardcore, donk kind of style stuff.
I love happy hardcore.
Yeah.
That's like where I.
There you go.
Yeah.
Some old school sounding tracks. Like I got Anthony Fantano on a track, which is really crazy. So he like, he was like, sounds like snorting every drug up your nose at once when he was reviewing one of my songs. And I was like, yo, Anthony, can I like use this? And he was like, go for it. And he was like, just make sure I get my cut. And I was like, it's not gonna be a lot. And he was like, I want my roses, Texas. And I was like, okay.
He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. So
well, thank you for coming on today.
Of
I really
course.
appreciate
Thank you
your
for
time.
having me.
Kyle, Sam,
Ian, Sam.
20 years old.
20 years old.
32.
Barely
We
legal.
never really know. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, coming live from Forbidden Kingdom. We out.